The try-catch block is used to catch errors that are raised by the C program. When an exception is raised, the .NET runtime generates an instance of that exception class. So, for example, if file not found is raised, it will actually generate an instance of the file not found exception. And then it does what's called throwing the exception. The .NET runtime executes a throw statement. This will suspend the execution of the program and transfer control to the catch that handles the specific exception. Let's take a look. In this example, I have a try-catch. It's a very simple try-catch. What we have in here is code that opens up and reads a text file. Now, we're going to assume for the purpose of this exercise that a file not found exception is thrown. So your code attempts to open a file that's not there. What will happen is the .NET runtime generates the line that you see there. It throws a new instance of the file not found exception. So that's code that's generated by the .NET runtime. What this does is it suspends normal execution of your code, and it actually routes control to these catch statements looking for the file not found exception. It does find it here. So whatever the code is under catch, it executes, and then it goes after the try. So actually code gets routed, or the control of the code gets routed to after the try statement. Let's just say this was an exception that was not caught. So let's say it was something like directory not found. And you can see that we haven't defined a catch for directory not found. So this is the actual line that the .NET runtime generates. It actually creates a new instance of a directory not found exception object. It routes to all the catch statements. It finds this one does not actually catch the exception that was thrown. When it turns to this one, the code inside this catch statement does get executed because remember, system.exception catches everything. This is the exception class that all exception classes are based on. So this is a general catch or generic catch. It'll catch everything. So in this case, the .NET runtime generates that statement. This catch is evaluated. It doesn't match the kind of exception that was thrown. It goes here. This is what's called a general catch. It catches system.exception, a very, very general catch because it catches everything. The code inside this catch gets executed. You can use the same type of syntax to programmatically throw an exception. You can use that throws statement. You can actually do this within your application. The idea here is that you can force an exception to occur programmatically. Now there are two types of exceptions that you can throw. Predefined exceptions found in the .NET class framework. So at any given time, you can actually throw the file not found exception or the directory not found exception. The other type of exception that you can throw is a user-defined exception that you define. Here's an example of using the throw statement. You can see on the whiteboard here that there's a try, catch. You can see the try block. It begins here and actually goes all the way down to here. Now within the try block, we're interrogating the value of x. We're testing a condition and seeing if x is equivalent to the value of 0. And if it is, we're going to throw an exception. So what we're doing here is we're creating a new instance of the divide by 0 exception. What we're doing here is throwing an exception. We're creating a new instance of the divide by 0 exception. What this will do is this will suspend the execution of our code normally, and control will start off moving through the catch statements. The first catch statement actually does catch the exception that was thrown. So inside the catch block, we're hoping for code to handle this exception. Notice we have that general catch that we've talked about. This will catch any exception, but we're hoping to use a catch block that handles a specific exception because we're much better able to handle the exception if we know specifically what it is. The throw statement allows you to actually programmatically throw an exception. You can see that you can do that at any point in time, and then you can catch for that actual exception that you've thrown.